Most testing at universities takes place to see if students can recall facts. But although I don't think anyone would deny that students need to acquire some factual knowledge, a university education isn't just about being able to retrieve particular facts or statistics at a given moment. It isn't even about being able to construct a rational argument. Students go to university because they want to be admitted into their chosen profession. To some extent, this has to mean developing the right personality, the necessary maturity, and the right worldview. It's a process of becoming. But how do you ascertain whether a student has gone through this process? Certainly not with traditional testing methods.
I had been to Australia once on a holiday before deciding to come and study here. I come from a vast metropolitan area, and so I've been used to a fast pace of life. I wanted to study in another country, like my own, which encompassed a diverse range of cultures and identities. So for me, it was imperative that I chose a city similar to my own. The benefits of studying in another country are wide-ranging, and it is such an enriching experience that I would recommend anyone contemplating it to find out more about what their target country can offer.
When applying to a university, one of the most important factors to consider is whether the organization offers the subject you're interested in and the possibility of being accepted. In order to know this, a substantial amount of time needs to be devoted to research. This may take the form of checking the university websites or visiting the campus to gain a clearer impression of the place and whether you might be comfortable there. That should result in increased motivation for the arduous tasks of sitting the required exams or writing essays that are part of the admissions process.
Editing your own work can be a challenge. Understanding language rules is key to helping you spot your mistakes, especially when it comes to grammatical errors. Look out for agreements with your verbs and do not forget to check the use of fixed phrases. Another important area to check is word choice. In academic writing, you must ensure that you do not use slang or informal language, as you should always use a formal register. Finally, if you find that you have used the same word many times, try using synonyms to help improve your writing.
Cultural anthropology is the study of human societies, cultures, and their emergence around the world. Its focus is enculturation and socialization, as well as practices and faith systems in different regions. One of the first anthropologists in this field proclaimed that there is no direct relationship between culture and race, as his ethnographical research began to illustrate. Over the years, this branch of anthropology has adopted the idea of cultural relativism.
In certain countries, The use of animals in advertisements is conventional. There is one obvious reason for this. The attention of many groups of people can be exploited by the use of animals. Dogs appear very often because of their popularity, and they are the animal most often found in the home in many countries. An image of a puppy can be enough to boost trust in a brand, no matter what original message the marketing company wanted to communicate. The idea that a brand doesn't take itself too seriously is immediately suggested when a dog is shown driving a car. There are many ways that marketing managers have taken advantage of our love of pets. Language extinction happens when a language completely disappears because there are no living speakers of the language. Experts are worried about the number of languages which are disappearing around the world because it also means that important cultural ideas are lost. Language extinction can happen for several reasons. For example, when young people move away from their home regions or villages for practical reasons, many of them decide that they no longer need the language they grew up with, particularly if it isn't widely known in other places. This leads to a huge drop in the number of people who will pass the language on to their children.
We all know that plastic waste is a serious problem which affects the whole world. It can cause pollution in the oceans, harm wildlife, and affect air quality. However, some governments are changing their laws to try to improve the situation. For instance, they can make large companies which manufacture high quantities of plastic packaging pay additional taxes. However, more steps need to be taken, and some countries are starting to do this. One of the main solutions is to decrease the amount of plastic waste which developed countries send to other regions of the world.
Whether we are conducting research or listening to a news story, statistics are often used in order to provide evidence for the claim being made. Even with marketing, the use of statistics has an important role. For example, say you see an advertisement for a product that states that 75% of people agree that this is the best product they have used. What does this actually mean? It might sound like many people like this product. However, if we know that only 4 people were asked about the item, this would mean that only 3 people were in favour. This is a much smaller number than we might have initially thought.